Like this event is becoming my favorite track. It's
It
my
is.
favorite track.
Yeah. There
It's
we go.
easily my favorite track.
Statement made.
They should make this the cutoff race. And not only that, it's a skill track. Like, it's not just random.
And that's the difference. That's the difference for me. Like,
Yeah.
that's where I'm actually loving Atlanta a lot, because the handling was huge. Like, handling was more important than drafting last night or Sunday night.
You can't take a lap there for the most part with the throttle wide open the whole way around. Ross said that in his exit interview after the accident, where he mentioned that.
Oh, yeah.
And I imagine that was true for everyone too, not just because he's my driver. I just so happened to hear that, which is crazy. So this track is starting to develop.
And bear in mind, we're on year 2 of this pavement, and it's already worn this nicely.
True.
Like, so here's a hot take. I think in another 2-ish years, I think Atlanta is going to be exactly like Homestead. I think you're going to see racing very similar to Homestead, because you're going to have different lines. There's going to be as much as we ripped on SM, because I think all of us ripped on SMI last season when they did this. Yeah. I think they have the potential to have one of the best speedways for the next 10, 15 years.
I agree with that, because I could see. I didn't really think of it that way, but.
And I could be wrong. That's just what, with the age I'm seeing, that's kind of what I think is going to happen.
Did you see what Martin Truex did that he figured out before everybody else did? The high groove thing?
Yep.
And I was like, that's probably where the Homestead kind of lookalikes are kind of
And what was so cool is, like what you were just talking about, I saw both, because the 34 and the 6 could diamond the bottom and make time.
Yeah.
And then the 43, when he wasn't running into people, and the 19 could make crazy time on the top, even though the preferred groove was the middle, because 80% of the field was running in the middle. So, like, that to me, it was kind of cool. And I think the more we age, the less we're going to have super speedway racing there. Like, I really do think it's going to become more Homestead-esque or Auto Club-esque. But I think we could see almost either at Atlanta.
Now the package that they're running.
It is a super speedway package, for sure.
Do you think that changes?
I think so.
Do you think that hurts the product?
No. I think it's
it only
good
helps.
and getting better, and great and getting better. And I think you just keep it. I don't think they'll get to the point where it wears out so much that you consider going back to a different package. I think they keep this package because it's still a drafting track, and it probably will be. If anything, this is what the 550 package was trying to do. This is the racing they were trying to do, right?
Yeah.
Where you are drafting on a track that you have to lift. You know what I mean? You're getting a lot of side-by-side, no single-car breakaways. So I think that'll continue. You'll see probably a lot less comfortable 3-wide racing, though, because if you lose grip and cars really are getting loose and stuff like that, you're going to have a lot less, 3-wide.
Well, I kept hearing comparison to, like, early 2000s Daytona, late 90s Daytona.
And it felt like Daytona.
Yeah, like, I saw a ton of that, which was cool, because it wasn't just... Because, like, Atlanta last year sucked. Like, just to call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
You couldn't do anything. No. Whereas Sunday, the driver had complete control. Like, the driver could do anything.
Yeah, no, I agree. And honestly, I like what you said, Nolan, about making Atlanta the cutoff race and moving Daytona to July 4th weekend. I think that'd be the perfect switcheroo.
Yeah. Hashtag America.
Yeah. So Darrell Waltrip's on Twitter, I guess. He's not verified, but I guess this is him.
All Waltrip.
Well, he's got 609,000 followers. Very nice.
That's got to be him. Yeah.
It's got to be him, right?
Does he have a red background? Orange background?
Yes.
He just
same profile picture from 2009.
Nice.
Oh gosh,
I see that. He's doesn't have gray hair. So he said this after the race. He said, "I'm a driver, owner, TV personality." I think that's what he was going for. It says TV personally. Typo. But
it's Darrell Waltrip.
But most of all, a race fan. Tonight's race was the best I've ever seen. Like, that's high praise.
That is.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't know that I'm willing to quite go to that point with him, but I mean,
with this car.
Yeah. But like, I think over the last 2 years, this is probably top 5 for me. Honestly.
I circle this.
Yeah.
For other reasons.
I think it's such a win for the sport. And that's one of the things I wanted to be positive about was like,
Thank
dude,
God.
for all the things that they try and do and innovate with, this was such a win.
It was.
It's almost to the point where if they do this at Texas,
honestly, I'm okay with it.
I'm okay with it because I was one of the things I said last year. This is a great experiment, but let's not do it again because we don't need 2, 4, 6, 8.
Spire needs it.
8 plate races. Yeah, right. I think we all need it, man, because that's such good racing.
Tell you what, if the Fords keep doing so well, though, you're going to have to switch to Fords if you want to be good at Atlanta.
Oh, here we go.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I'll tell you what. So these
Willie
plate
B
guys,
backed into a win. Ford had that.
He does
thing
that all the
lined up.
time.
Yeah,
Vegas,
true.
Phoenix.
that's why I'm wearing my hack shirt because we're talking about backing into wins.
Yeah, but most of the whole race, we had the Penske cars up there running 3x3 or whatever, you know, 3 in a row. And then you had RFK.
RFK.
All these guys
And
that are
FRM.
good at plate racing showed up and were in the top 10 most of the race. And so, like, you have that consistency factor. This race has consistency. It is a skill track. I'm so convinced.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
like,
I'm
if
there.
you're good at it, you're good at it. It's not random. It's not. It's amazing. I love it.
And honestly, last year I felt like Atlanta was still a lot of luck. Like I think a lot of, and it's nothing against the people that did well, but I think there was so much because you couldn't really make moves. Like you had to be lucky to be in the right spot to make the move.
I think guys haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. Whereas like Keselowski restarted 28th after his last pit stop.
He was like up to 5th.
And he made it up to 5th at the end of the race.
Yeah.
And honestly, if they could have gotten one more set of restarts, I think Kez had that thing in the bag. Like number 6 was the fastest car
And
easily on Sunday.
they just looked really fast. I don't know how fast they were going, but when I was watching, I'm like it just felt like one wreck would happen and everything was just going to explode.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I was surprised, like seeing tweets from personalities that were at the track. Like they were even commenting at how fast in person it looked.
Like
So
the
that's
light-
kind of cool.
Racing under the lights. I just kind of wish it was a Saturday night race.
See, I love Sunday night
like
races.
Sunday night?
I really do. So like I was all for this. I liked the Nashville thing. I loved the Atlanta
Okay.
thing. I thought it was a win-win. Now I
agree.
Like logistically, I think it is hard for fans. So like I appreciate that, but I think it's worth it. I think the gains are more than the losses.
If it rains for an hour, I mean, that's it. And you've reached halfway, they're going to call it right away. We learned that too, because,
did.
that's one of the things where, like, even if it was like a 45-minute shower and it takes, an hour and 15 minutes to get back on the track, say after lightning strikes and dry track and all that, you're looking at like a restart near midnight or at 11, like past 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
It's rare that they would do that. So that was another reason why I knew that like them calling it was like basically their only option. That's the only thing about having a race that starts that late is you're just
It's very
not going to
true.
be able to extend it. So
Usually doesn't rain
the only con.
that much in Atlanta in the summer.
Or
It
in
happens.
freaking July.
Yeah,
like
it's usually
July
the
is usually the
driest
driest month. Yeah.
And we've had rain everywhere.